Hey y'all, it's Crystal. Thanks for coming by today. We're just gonna do a mid-month check-in because it is mid-month, and I've been reading. You guys, and it's been really great to actually read books. Yeah, so yeah, we're in the middle of November now. It's finally cold here in North Carolina, so I'm feeling good. I'm mostly participating, of course, in the Cryptid Readathon, which I, of course, co-hosting with Jason's Weird Reads and Sin's Book Nooks, my friends there, and we've been having lots of fun. I got some folks joining in with us, reading some cryptid stuff. It's been so fun so far, and then a few other bits and bobs, like you do. The Read What You Own challenge kicked off, which of course I'm co-hosting with, of course, Criminali, MJ reading This Life, and Greg at another Bibliophile Reads. I'm really enjoying seeing the enthusiasm for it again, and I've hit book 6 already. Who am I? Who am I reading books I own? Okay, anyway, let's just get into it. I wonder what I've been reading so far. It's been great. We're just going to go in the order in which I have them written in my notebook. Yes, okay. I kicked off, listen to an audiobook, Dear Mothman by Robin Gao. I love this. Okay, 5 glowing stars. This is a beautiful, beautiful book. It is, like I said, it's a middle grade book. It is about this, we've got this little kid, and they're like dealing with some grief. They've had a friend that died in an accident, and that was like their person, like their BFF, their friend, the one person that they could be themselves with, had fun with, connected with. That was their person, right? And so yeah, they're dealing with this grief, but also dealing, they're in school, and they've been faced with doing this sort of research project, this big science project at the end of the year. And this person, sorry, I can't remember names, has decided that they want to, kind of prove the existence of Mothman. And this relates to the friend that passed away who loved Mothman and was always, searching for Mothman and doing this and doing that. And so along the way, they're writing letters to Mothman, and we were reading these letters and seeing all that they're going through, dealing with, of course, just grief in general, the loss of your person, and then this kind of weird, kind of in between that they're feeling of not feeling like they are a girl and wanting to be seen as a boy, connecting with new friends, and like, what is life, like, with these new friends, can I still be the same person that I was with my old friend? There's all sorts of things going on in here, and I loved it. There's so much more that goes on in here. And I'm telling you, it is so good. It is absolutely fantastic, gloriously beautiful. I cannot recommend it enough. Beautiful, beautiful story. All right. I did a little picture book. Okay, the picture books count. Lula and the Sea Monster by Alex Latimer. Super cute. Okay, we have this little girl. She lives on the coast, and she, in a little tide pool, sees a little creature, a little sea monster. At the same time, her home is being demolished for like this coastal highway, and her parents are there. She's like gonna be having to forcibly leave her home and everything, and she's really bummed out. Okay, but she takes in the little creature, and he gets growing, and he grows, and he grows, and he grows, and he prevents. I mean, spoiler, he prevents the house from being torn down because he's a huge sea monster now. Super cute, just really lovely illustrations, really colorful, and it was a delight. Something totally different. Okay, we're going to switch over to Creature by Hunter Shea. Listen to this on audio. I found it on my Hoopla. If you're looking for where to find it, check your Hoopla. If you do, Hoopla. Okay, so Creature by Hunter Shea. It's been on my list for a little while. I've read a few Hunter Sheas, but this one I'd always heard was really good, so I'm going to get into it. And it is definitely a cryptid type story, but there's a lot of stuff going on in here too. Really, more so about this married couple. There's this married couple that's together, and the wife just has like horrendous chronic pain and a chronic illness, and a lot of days is just sort of suffering with pain. I mean, really. And the husband is doing his best that he can. He still has to go to work, but he does what he can to take care of her and all this kind of thing. It's a lot, it's a lot on them and their relationship, though they do clearly love each other, but it doesn't mean that it's easy, right? And so it's kind of something comes up and he's like, I'm going to take some time off. We're going to go to this cabin. I want to say it's in Maine. I've rented this cabin for us. We're going to be there just for a few months. We got to get away because she's about to sort of take on this like, experimental type of treatment, right? Which is gonna like knock her out, really down for the count for like a long time, right? She's like, let's just have some time, you know what I mean? And so they think that's a great idea, and things are going swimmingly, you know what I mean? Until something attacks the house. Yeah. So we definitely, like I said, have a creature in the book, as is noted by the title, but yeah, it gets more. This is a very sad story. It's a very sad story in general, and I feel like I just feel like the representation of this woman's illness was pretty dead on, and I felt for them a lot. Yeah, they were really a good couple, and yeah. Anyway, very good. It does take a little time to get to the sort of creature action. I feel like a lot of Hunter Shea's books are like, you're going to get into it, you're getting into the killings and the creatures and stuff. This one does take its time because it's really focusing on this relationship with this couple. So just kind of know that going in. I feel like it's a slightly different vibe from maybe your typical Hunter Shea story. I do recommend it. I really enjoyed it. Okay, another audiobook. I've been leaning into audiobooks. Love and Other Conspiracies by Mallory Marlowe. I adored this. Okay, I have not read a lot of romance this year, and this sounded delightful. I don't remember how it got on my radar. I know Lauren at Happy Haunts Library commented that she loved it, so maybe I saw her read it. Anyway, this is... How do I start? Okay, so we've got this lady, who works kind of at this company that does, what's the word I'm looking for? That does like online programming. Anyway, and so she's like a producer, and she's kind of like, she's got pulled into the boss's office, and they're like, you're not really working on anything right now. You're going to need to pitch us a show. And otherwise we're going to have to, because we're kind of a small business. Okay, so she's been thinking, and she's like scrolling late night TV. She comes across this dude who is talking on this show about cryptids and stuff. And he's very compelling. And he's like, this is the guy that I'm going to make the show with. And so they get the pilot and they make the show. It gets, they're like, we're going to make several episodes, and they get together, and they end up on screen together, and they're kind of Scully and Mulder in a way, because she is very much a skeptic of everything, and this guy wants to believe everything. So they have this really great dynamic right off the bat. Lots of great rapport, and the fan base through their, I think it's like YouTube, show, it just catapults and everything. And of course, I mean, it's a romance story. Okay, but there's a lot of other things going on in here, especially with the Our Lady character, who is feeling some type of way from like a previous relationship at her work by this total jerk. So she's really kind of dealing with like feeling like she's not worth anything, and a lot, but kind of low self-esteem. And then this guy, he's got some stuff going on too. I don't want to give too much away, but it was a really fun romance that had a little bit of something extra to it, I thought. And there is some cryptid talk in here. There's also stuff about aliens and all kinds of stuff. So any kind of like paranormal ghosts and things like that. They go on these little trips to debunk or possibly discover the truth of all these things. I highly recommend it. I really, really enjoyed it. Another kind of romance book I read next is Song by Jae Dixon. Okay, I went into this, I don't know where I got it in my mind when I first bought this book. And then from the time that I first bought this book until when I've been thinking about reading it, that I thought this was a Bigfoot story. This is not a Bigfoot story. This is a Mothman story, okay? So let's just straighten things out. First of all, this is a romance. This is a fantasy sort of kind of story. Okay, I don't know how to explain it. We've got, okay, this set in like the real world. It's set I think we were in West Virginia at this sort of small kind of college town. Our main character guy is getting his like doctorate with writing, so he's going through a doctorate program. So he's a bit older, So that's our, sort of a main character. And then we also know that there is this other sort of plane of existence that sort of coincides with our world of this sort of magical land filled with magical beings and creatures and, things like that. And this is the land in which the Mothman exists. Now, the Mothman that kind of takes care of this kind of area is a sort of, almost kind of like a guardian, of, like sometimes he has to take care of business and stuff, so he's kind of has like a duty, that he's duty bound to this section of land by this old tree thing, I'm saying it like a silly, but it was actually very lush kind of lore that was created here that I really enjoyed. And it is love at first sight when our Mothman, what's his name? I'm not gonna remember his name because why am I so terrible with names? He had a really cool name. Anyway, meets our dude, sparks fly, and he's like, this guy is gonna be mine. And they go there, there's a few little saucy scenes in here which I really enjoyed. It took a turn because there's also like some dark magic going on in here. It was quite an in-depth story. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I really loved the lore that Jae Dixon created here, and with this, sort of dual worlds like that coincide together. They can't really see each other, unless you kind of maybe are, if you're a human, unless you maybe have a touch of magic, maybe you can, see these other creatures and beings and, get, kind of access to this magical force. It's like I said, it's a whole thing. I thought it was so well written and I really enjoyed it. And like I said, it was just more than just sort of a smutty Mothman book. It was a really lush world that was created here. So I really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend if you like a bit of romance. Okay. All right. Okay. Next up, a physical book finally. It came from the swamp, this anthology of cryptid stories, edited by Joey R. Poole. Okay, I did start this. I don't know if it was last Cryptid Readathon or possibly the one before. I don't even remember. And y'all, I couldn't remember if I actually finished it. And so I said, I'm just gonna, I think, finish it out. I did reread several of the stories here, and I was reading them. I was like, yeah, I read this story for sure. So I did reread most of the stories, actually, because they're actually really great stories in here. And then I think the last couple I didn't read. And so this book is now complete and highly enjoyable. A real mix of different cryptids in different, parts of kind of the U.S. There's a really cool jackalope story in here, and really enjoyable. I'll put that here if you want to pause for the authors, but just super enjoyable. This is from hold on, look at the press here, Mallory Books, and just highly enjoyable. So yes, it is now. I can mark it complete finally. Okay, so King of Ashes, S.A. Cosby. Listen to the audiobook for this too, because I love the narrator for S.A. Cosby's books. Chef's Kiss. And I'm just trying to get through books, honestly. And audiobooks is where I have, like I mentioned before, the bulk of my reading time. And excellent. Another, S.A. Cosby knocks it out of the park yet again. Okay. I know there's been some mixed feelings about this one. After reading it, I can see where some people aren't vibing as well with this one as some of his other books, particularly The Razor Blade Tears and All Sinners Bleed, even Blacktop Wasteland. But I'm telling you, I loved this book. Okay, I love this book. I still really liked All Sinners Bleed, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I can't even rank them because they're all good. But this way, how to explain this book? The basic gist is we have a family. Okay, there's the father was in a bad accident, is in a coma, and so our main character is this guy Roman. This takes place in a small town in Virginia, like a lot of his stories. But Roman's been living down in Atlanta, and he's been gone from the hometown for several years now. He's made a life for his own. He's like a financial advisor. Like, he is doing really well for himself. And so he's just not been, he's just kind of left that behind, right? And but he gets the call from his sister. You need to come home. And so so he comes home. He's got an older sister, Nevaeh, and a younger brother. And as he gets there, he's learning that his younger brother, what was his younger brother's name? Dante, yes, okay, I kind of know his name. Is in some trouble. Yeah, he is kind of owing lots of money to this sort of basically local gang that's kind of run rampant through the town, and like a lot of money. And it's to the point where they're like, you gonna give me my money or you're gonna get dead. And so Roman's like, let me see what I can do. I'm gonna try to help you out. And so Roman just gets caught up in all of this. Now, these two gangster guys, y'all, they are crazy. They were fascinating characters to me. And I just thought they were absolutely kind of fascinating. They were bad dudes, man. Anyway, Torrent and I'm not gonna remember their names now, but anyway, yeah, they were super interesting. Now, what we call Kings of Ashes is his family has a crematorium, and they run the crematorium of the neighborhood. So that's kind of where all this comes into play. And there's also a thread of a mystery of their mother who disappeared when they were much younger. I think Roman was maybe, we'll say he's 14 or something at the time, 15. And so there's this mystery too of what happened to the mom. And of course, when you're from a small town, there's all sorts of rumors and things like that going around about what happened to your mom kind of stuff too. So what we get wrapped up into basically is this world of drugs, violence, sexual trafficking, gun trafficking, weapons, wrapped up in these two gangsters. Roman is trying to really trying to do good, and by also not getting him and his entire family murdered. We just get spun up in this whole web, and we lead to some places. We get shown some things. Okay, typical S.A. Cosby. There's really brutal, violence in here. That's just very realistic, and you can kind of picture it in your brain. And oh boy, I love this. What I really loved about this, and I don't know if it's some people maybe just, I don't know, I'm not saying some people, you don't get it. I'm not saying that at all. But for me, I think it just hit differently. One, I'm a Southerner. I live in North Carolina. This takes place in Virginia. It's basically next door, right? Or it is next door. But you know what I'm saying? It's basically the same place is what I mean. And especially if you are anywhere familiar with what it's like growing up or living in a small town, okay, which I do. And having that small town change over the years. Okay, a lot of these small towns in particular, I used to have, places where, usually where people could work, usually like a mill or some sort of factory, something like that. That was kind of the heart of this town. And when those things close, people are just left with nothing. I mean, really. And you just get caught. A lot of people get caught in this just cycle of poverty, because that main source, of income is just gone, right? So I grew up in a town like this. So for me, I just see it. And then when I look at where I'm from, what is happening in that area, the sort of slow, drain of people, people leaving because there's nothing else to do, people getting caught up in violence and gangs, and you see the what's the word I'm looking for? Murders even, and violence. Those numbers go up, and it's because you just really are, people are just really stuck, you know, and then people will take advantage of that, you know. And so to me, it just like, I just really connected with that scene, because I'm like, I know these towns, I know these sorts of places, you know. I mean, I don't know, maybe to this like level of violence, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily live in that circle, thankfully, but you know, it exists for a lot of small towns, I think, and in this country, I think, particularly in the South, because that's what I know, right? So for me, I don't know, I just really connected with this story. I loved these characters. Like, none of them make good decisions, you know. Like, none of them are doing things right here. Not even Roman, when he thinks he's doing good things, he's not, you know. Like, you're really not making the best choices here. You just kind of want to like, why are you doing this, you know? Anyway, read the book. I don't know. I love S.A. Cosby and love this book. Okay. Let's not talk too much more about it, I guess. Anyway, okay. The Circus of Dr. Lau. Okay, y'all, this one, this is a little kooky. This is by Charles G. Finney. Okay, this book was published in 1935, first of all. So it is very much a book written in 1935. I just want to say that. It is essentially, it's a, you know, sort of standard kind of story where a circus comes to this little small town, right, in Arizona, but this is a different sort of circus. We've got like mystical creatures and things like that. There's like a unicorn, there's a sea serpent, there's like a satyr, there's a mermaid. What else is there? I forget. A sphinx. Yeah, there's all sorts of things, and it's all run by this Mr. Lau character, and it is just very weird. This book was very interesting. We see the circus come to town through the eyes of many characters, that most of which are just people that live in this town, you know, and they're like, thinking about when the circus comes into town, will they go to the circus? And then like they're spending time at circus, going to the displays. That's not the word I'm looking for. You know what I'm trying to say. And it's kind of interspersed with this kind of backstory of the creatures and how the circus got these creatures. Now, okay, like I said, this is a product of his time, especially in how people speak about this, particularly Mr. Lau, because he's a Chinese guy. And so I think you can see where I'm going. Yeah. So a lot of just kind of derogatory language here in the speaking of a Chinese person. And even Dr. Lau himself, like when he is speaking to like, say, someone within the community, he's using this like broken English, very kind of stereotypical accented English, right? But then he'll go to like where he's like presenting the mermaid, and it's just the most luscious language coming out of his mouth about how they got this mermaid. I don't know if Mr. Lau was like playing a trick on people. I don't know, but I don't even know how to describe this book, if I would recommend the book. I just don't know. But it was a very interesting read, and I'm kind of glad that I read it. There were parts in here, again, that I just thought were quite beautiful. Like, I don't tab books really, you know? And I was like, I have to mark this. Why is this so good, you know? Anyway, it was, I don't really know what else more to say about it other than it was super interesting. And if you think you'd like to read an old school book about a circus coming to town, I mean, go for it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Okay, the next up, for Dinovember, yeah, I read these Ray Bradbury Dinosaur stories. I got this little collection. I found this at a thrift store, but this is I like Barnes and Noble like collection, and like it says, it's got dinosaur stories in it. It's got, what was it, 7 or 8 stories? Let me look here. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories and poems. There are a couple poems in here as well, and they're all really great. Really love them all. And look at, they're surrounded by the most gorgeous illustrations. Everything is illustrated. Even each page has these, what do you call, I don't know what you call them. They're probably called something. These little columns of illustrations on each as well. And each story has really lovely illustrations. I mean, just beautiful. Just beautiful. I loved these stories. and it's Ray Bradbury. I mean, I don't know, like he's just a gorgeous writer, and these are his dinosaur stories, and they were wonderful. I don't know, what do you say, you know? Okay, Just Say No More. I read The Bluest by Toni Morrison finally. I don't know why I've not read this book yet. I mean, I don't know. I know why. It's because I'm crazy. But anyway. Whew. This book is a gut punch. It is a heartbreak on the paper. But it is wonderful. This book is wonderful. I read this for Brad Proctor's Spinebreakers Book Club. This is his quarterly pick for the last quarter. And I actually did the audiobook too. And I love doing Toni Morrison's audiobooks because she narrates a lot of them. And she has a great audiobook voice. The gist of the story is we have a young girl named Piccola who wants to have blue eyes, so that she is deemed beautiful, because she is so often told that she's not beautiful, and not even just by greater society, but even sort of within her own community and in her own home. And we get the perspective of characters that live in this little town in Ohio, that kind of circle around Piccola, really. There's Daisy. Was it Daisy? Oh my God, am I getting this right? Yeah, Charlie, who was her father. We get like his backstory. We get her mom's backstory of how she came to this little town. Like I said, there's two other girls. Frida, and it was not Daisy. Who was Daisy? Anyway, they're kind of friends of hers that befriend Piccola because they end up having to take her in one night. There's a lot of perspectives in here, but the gist is like how sort of this circles back to Piccola. And of course it deals with, just general racism, how, black skin isn't deemed beautiful. There is, there's some darkness in here, you guys. And it's a Toni Morrison book, right? But it just feels so real and so, I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless, really, because I don't feel smart enough to say what I want to say about this book, other than I don't know that I've ever been so affected by a book. I don't know that I've ever felt so affected by a book. I was in tears, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. This there was a section right here. I marked it because I'm sobbing. I'm sobbing reading this. I don't know if you haven't read it yet. Go ahead and read it. Just prepare yourself. It's not an easy one, but it's beautiful. All right. I read Woodworm by Layla Martinez. Listen to the audiobook for that. This was Kelly over Kelly Hooked on Books has some quarterly book picks that she picked over on her Discord, and to read some translated work this year. This was translated from the Spanish. I believe Layla Martinez is from Spain. The book is set in Spain. So I feel this was an okay book about this book. It left me a little confused, and so I'm not quite sure how I feel about it, but there were parts of it also that were really interesting, right? You know what I mean? So the gist is there's this family that lives in this town and this little village, and they have a somewhat nice home, but they get their home I don't even know how to say it. I don't even know how to talk about this book. It was just because I like I said, I feel a little confused by it, and there's a lot of characters. There's several characters through generations. There's the first mom, and then she has a daughter, and the lady has a daughter. But it's the women can't leave the house, and I mean, not really, and so they kind of get trapped there. I don't know, you guys. I'm not explaining it very well. If I have further thoughts later at another point, I'll come back to it, but it was fine. My son is down here now, so if there's humming in the background. 2 more books. Audiobook for The Devil of Black Creek by Victor Methos. This is one of those like Audible original type things. I'd forgotten I had a couple of Cryptid things saved on my Audible. And this is one that you get, as if you're an Audible Plus, you get like the free type stuff. This is a very short story. It is a very typical sort of Bigfoot story, but it's fun. I mean, it's just literally like a couple hours and you're done with it, you know, kind of thing. It's, you know, these people are going out to the woods to go look for Bigfoot and they find Bigfoot. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going to end well. Pretty high tension. You just feel chips on the couch. Pretty high tension, those. And, you know, I was on the edge of my seat. It was good. If you need a short listen, I mean, I definitely recommend it. And then today, I listened to The United States of Cryptids, A Tour of American Myths and Monsters by J. W. Ocker. I had a fun time with this. This is like a nonfiction kind of book. And this author just takes us all around America, telling us about all kinds of cryptids. And it's fun. And I learned something I didn't know existed. And yeah, it was super fun. He does it kind of by regional, so like the Northeast and then the South and, you know, stuff like that. And yeah, almost every state has a cryptid, and some of them are fun, and some of them we know are fake, but we roll with it anyway, you know. So, yeah, it was a good dang on time. I really enjoyed it. I recommend if you want to just learn more about what cryptids actually are out there, because yeah, I definitely learned about some I did not know about, and yeah, so it was fun. Okay, currently I'm reading The Symbiotic Fascination. I'm finally, Alex at the Bucky Bus, he can leave me alone now. Okay, I'm kidding, but yeah, I'm just like 70 pages in. Just yeah, I'm just peeking into this one. Enjoying it so far. It's kind of crazy pants already. So, and I'm literally a chapter into this. Cat over at Cat Sound Adventures sent me this. It's a middle grade book called It Came from the Trees by Allie Russell. It's a Bigfoot, I think, type story. We've got these scouts here that are, you know, camping in the woods, and they've already seen something in the woods. So just in chapter 1. So I mean, I'm already into it. And then I've got another book. I'm not remember the name of it. It's a book that I had on my Kindle, but I kind of forgot about it. Terror Mountain. Is it called Terror Mountain? And it is also going to be a book, Bigfoot story, I think. Read a couple of chapters. Again, I'm already intrigued. So I'll report back later. But that's my reading so far. Some pretty good stuff. I've had a good month so far. This video is going to be really long, so again, editing may or may not occur, and I do apologize. I really need to upgrade my phone, but I can't afford it right now. So, if you see pictures installed, you know, added, then I have had success. If not, you're going to get what you're going to get, and that's just it. So, okay, hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you're enjoying and participating in the Cryptid Readathon if you are joining us. And that's it. So I will talk to you later. All right. Bye, guys.